Welcome back to this edition of the Karceno for Life show.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a hood story, ain't it?
Well, we got Shawn Reco on the line, and we were just talking about something. We said we need to share this with the world because I'm quite sure there's other brothers out there that's seeing the same things happen that are happening here today. And the thing of it is called accountability.
Yep.
We don't hold ourselves accountable for anything. And if any one of us say anything, we are instantly categorized as a sellout or a coon. That's the newest term now. If you can't criticize anything black anymore. If blacks do something, hey brother, what you doing? Don't you realize he's a brother? You a sellout. And I don't understand that when you asking for people to be accountable for themselves and be respectful and hold themselves in a certain way to where society would say, you know what, that's a nice person. Give them a reason not to look at you in a negative way. How is that selling out? That's what you would want to teach your children. You'll say, look, I want you to go out there and be a productive human being, a productive citizen, be nice to people, treat them with kindness. They treat you the same way. I don't understand why people think that that's a negative thing. You can't even give what they said is constructive criticism. That's what we do. We give people constructive criticism. I mean, it happens everywhere else around the world, but here's the thing. Blacks cannot accept the criticism. If you say, oh, well, if you're not with Colin Kaepernick all the way, I was like, well, you got to look at the whole situation. What you mean? You going against the brother? You a coon. You over here cooning for them. I'm like, oh, wow. You immediately go into that realm. Now, I want y'all to listen to what happened to Shawn Reco over the past weekend. Go ahead, Shawn. The floor is yours.
So, first of all, let me start by saying I love black people. Because I'm black. But even go deeper, I love all people. But I do have a specialty in my heart for black people because it is my own race. But I believe in treating people good all the way around. So, as I was sharing with Karceno, black people have got to do better. And I know you probably don't make comments about your cooning and how you help other black people, you tear them down. I don't have to tell anybody that they tear their own selves down. And they doing the job for me. Not that I was trying to tear them down. But listen, I went to do some volunteer work this weekend. Now, I'm not going to mention what company I went to and all that because I don't want to get them in trouble. But let's just say I'm working an event this weekend. I'm doing some concession stand work. And I swear, out of 15 to 20 registers, I swear it was 99% black. I was like, oh, I said, first thing I looked at, I said, why do white people do this job? I said, this kind of just blew my mind that there were so many black people. I'm talking about this is a big sporting event. Huge sporting event. Where mostly, probably 67% of the audience is white and 30% is black and Mexican. But I'm there, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. First time I'm shadowing, I'm helping. So this is my first day, so I'm training, so I'm helping these people. And oh my goodness. See, I work in corporate America. There's a few of us blacks, a few of us Asians, a few of us Mexicans. Majority is white. But it's my job. I went to school to learn my trade. So I'm used to being around people. Listen, even before my job, I was in the military. Before I was in the military, I was around in high school and everything else like everybody else. Your upbringing, at least my upbringing, you're courteous, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, how can I help you? We're taught you just don't do the bare minimum to get by in your job. If you want to move up in life, you do the minimum and you do it above and beyond. And that's not kissing butt, that's not being an Uncle Tom. It's called being more than average. It's called about being something in life. If you want to get ahead in life, I don't care what job you work. Whether you're all the way down to McDonald's, whether you're middle class, whether you work in corporate, your work ethic should be I'm not only going to do my job, but I'm going to do above and beyond my job because I got worth. I got something in me. I want to be set apart from others. So let's get back to the event. I'm working this event, and I'm watching these black people. And I'm like, first of all, the people walking by, we were in concession stands, like, yo, come over here. I know you want something to eat. Get over here. I was like, oh my God, like, black, you can't be talking to white people. Mexican, I don't care who you talk. I don't care if there's another black person out there. You don't be telling them to get over here. When they walk by, you say, hey, can I help you? Would you like something to eat? Hey, we have hot dogs, popcorn, pretzels. Are you hungry? Nah, hey, get over here, man. I got something for you. You think this is not the streets? You ain't selling drugs. You ain't selling crack. And then you have regular cup. You have souvenir cups. I'm looking at this young couple. The Mexican guy comes up and says, yo, I want the souvenir cup, but I don't want to pay for the whole drink. Sorry, sir, you got to pay the whole price of the drink and everything. Yo, come on, man. Here's $5. Come on, man. Just let me get the cup. She looks at the boyfriend. That's another thing. There's about 4 or 5 boyfriends, girlfriends working this whole event. I'm like, man, forget the practice, just right out the window. So he looked at her and he was like, go ahead and do it. She takes the $5, put it in her pocket, and give the man a souvenir cup. I said, oh my God, he over here stealing. Right in front of everybody, too. And then I'm like, oh, this can't get any worse than this. And then one guy, older gentleman, they called him Pops. He's around there, and he's doing his job. He's helping people and cussing them out all at the same time. I'm like, you cannot be using profanity and cussing while you're working in front of a station in front of customers. You don't go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, go up to eat your rent, and while the waitress is serving you, they cussing in front of the other co-workers. I'm like, black people, man, and this is an older generation. Just because it shows ignorance ain't just for the youngest, for the old people too. And then I'm gonna leave it at this because if I could go on and on what happened this night, and then to top it all off, we had to fill up the ice machine. Well, I didn't have to fill up the ice machine. We had to fill up the ice machine. So they go back and get ice out of the back. And thank God that a manager was in the back. You know how you go get ice out of the ice machine and sometimes it comes chunked up in a block? Yeah. You know, usually you get the ice scoop or something like that. You just chip away at it a little bit with the ice scooper, like you should, to break up the ice a little bit. Yep. No, this black brother's in the back took a broomstick that you clean and sweep, took the end of the broomstick and was just jabbing it all in the ice, trying to break up the ice, the same ice you about to serve people with. I said, see, this is why I can't work with ignorant black people. Not all black people are bad, but listen, you want white people, Mexicans, the society to treat you right, use some common sense. Stop stealing. Stop using all this profanity. Stop doing unsanitary stuff. And stop talking to people like you do on the block. Now, if you call that coon and they call me a coon, I call it degrading yourself. Black people will never get better if you don't do better. And one thing I learned, you can't help people that don't want to help themselves. I told my man Karceno here, I said, you know what? If I can help it, if I can avoid it, I will refuse to work with the majority of black people from here on out. If I can avoid it. If I can't, I'll just my head. But I'm telling you now, Karceno, dealing with black people, man, is something else. This is one of the worst experiences I deal with working with black people.
See, and it's sad because it puts a black eye on, like, it's like all black people are looked and judged by these situations. And it's about accountability. Now, I don't use that incident and say, okay, I can't work with blacks because they all gonna do that. I look at that as an isolated incident, but it's a reflection of what they were taught and where they come from and how they choose to carry themselves. And it's sad. You know, I've seen that at fast food restaurants. You know, at the white, like we was talking before, at the white restaurants, there's no lines. They get you in and out the line. You go to the store where the blacks are, they in there talking to each other. Yeah, man, you working Tuesday? I'm right in the line. I'm like right next to be served. Instead of taking my order, he's talking to the person next to him. So you working Tuesday? You coming in? And I'm like, dude, like, why am I listening to this conversation? This should not be even in the business.
And Karceno, I left this part out. The manager's walking back and forth, right? There's people standing. Like one black guy, he can have his line be empty. There'd be like 3 or 4 people in the other line. And the black guy right there, he would say, next, or how can I help you? You can come over here. I can help you over here. The manager has to walk by and be like, yeah, hey, they can help you right here. They're open. And I'm looking at these, and this is an older gentleman. Yeah, I'm like, and the one was, I was looking at these people like, my God, you don't even have the courtesy. You don't have nobody in your line. The people next to you got 3 or 4 people online. You don't even have the courtesy nor the common sense to say, I can help the next person over here. I swear, black people can be the most laziest people.
It's a mentality, and that's why I said maybe it can come from me. You know, in my household, you could never, ever, I've never heard my uncles, my aunties, nobody ever use profanity around my grandma. I've never even heard them use profanity. Like my other uncle, like if they did that, that stuff was out the house somewhere. There was never, my mother's never heard me use a curse word ever in her life. Never had my grandmother. That stuff was a whole different level of respect. Nowadays, when you have children having children, babies having babies, they growing up with the parents. And they have no real parental experience at all. And it's nothing but profanity and all this stuff, craziness going on. You grew up in that society, you don't know anything else. You grew up in a very poor educational system. You have nothing. You don't know anything. You don't know about respect. Everywhere I go, I don't care if it's a kid 7, 18 years old. I say, hey, sir, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you, sir. How you doing? I don't look at people. I say, yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. That's how we was done. Everywhere. I don't care if they fast food, the janitor. I don't care what their job or station in life is. I show them the proper respect because that's what I would want back in return. That's how you treat people. That's how we were always taught. Treat people with respect. Don't ask for it if you're not going to give it. So I don't understand this generation. And we, as the new parents or whatever, we need to turn to the kids and say, look, this is how you are supposed to behave. This is the way you go into society. And teach them to be respectable human beings. Period. That's far and foremost. It goes beyond being black. It goes about being human beings, period. You have to do better by yourself.
Right.
So you can't be on the Facebook and internet telling people what they need to be doing when you out here living savagely.
Right. Right, absolutely. And just to top it off, like Karceno said, not all black people, but I swear, man, a majority of them, though, not all black people, but I promise you it's a majority of them. It's well over 50%. I can tell you that much.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you probably went to an area where they probably hired from the inner city or an area where there's poverty-stricken. So if you're in a where poverty-stricken areas are, that type of behavior or that type of attitude you're going to see more of. But if you're in a middle class, upper class, see, I've been in all classes. So and I hear where there's like upper class, more rich and people making good money. The blacks out here, they don't do that. They don't do that. You know, they mostly do something else. So it's also comes from the environment. So it don't like make me say I can't be around blacks or this and that. But I know how it could make other blacks who come from a civilized society not want to be around that. It's like somebody like your grandmother and them hanging out with a bunch of teenagers who's all into rap and hip hop. They don't want to be around that. So I know how it makes people feel. It's like, I can't deal with that. Like seeing somebody being disrespectful in front of their mom and cussing back at their mom. I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm like, I can't even be around that. I'll be like, I can't deal with this. Somebody cursing their mama out. Oh no, I can't deal with that. Because it makes you feel uneasy. Because that's not something you're accustomed to hearing and seeing. You're not going to be around that. But if you come from that environment where you're poverty-stricken, a lot of issues, a lot of things happen there. But we come from poverty-stricken areas. Like you didn't come up rich. I definitely didn't come up rich. But it was just values we were taught there. Like the old saying go, I might have grown up in the slums, but the slums did not grow in me. So It was just the way it is.
Yep, and there are a few people that I am able to help out. People that are really serious about not wanting to live that life, wanting a better life. There's a handful, a small handful of them.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. It's just that a lot of them fall into pitfalls and traps. Some of the smartest people I've known in my life, Shawn, ended up falling into like drugs, crime, or just the like they say, the hood took them under. The environment, they ran into so many walls and they derailed themselves. I mean, like Shawn, so gifted. This person was an architect, never been taught anything about architecture, can sit there and draw architecture. Was great with math, a straight A student. Turns to gangs, turns to drugs, in jail, didn't finish high school. Another girl, straight A student, valedictorian, 7th smartest person in the state of Illinois, goes from straight A's to straight F's because she's dealing with some thug in the neighborhood and she's falling in love, her first time in love. He breaks her heart. It just derailed her whole life. Smart as could be, destroyed by what happens in the neighborhood. So it's a lot of gifted, talented people in the neighborhood, but there are not a lot of programs for them. There's not a lot of opportunities for them to where they can have another outlet besides go join this gang and either go work 60, 70 miles away from your house because there's no jobs, there's no like movies, no place to hang out, no recreational place to meet people. So all you have is either join a gang or go over there and do whatever. That's it.
And look, and I want to throw this last thing out there. And stop being hard on these people. I'm tired of hearing about blacks only marry blacks, whites only marry whites, Asians marry Asians. Listen, whoever you love, and let me specify, male or female. I'm not into the male, female. When it comes to whoever you love, I don't care if you black marrying a white marrying a Mexican marrying an Asian marrying a Filipino. Listen. And especially black people, stop being all blacks should only hang with blacks, whites should only hang with. You were telling me the other day, Nicki Minaj said about Kanye marrying Kim Kardashian, whether she's white, Italian, whatever she is. Who cares if you love that person, you don't look at their skin color. And I'm gonna give you biblical proof too. We're gonna get biblical today. People always try to use the Bible to justify race, and the Israelites, they only marry the Israelites. They marry their own people. Blacks marry blacks. I'm like, it never had to do anything dealing with race color. And you try to use the Bible to justify race color, I tell people you're lying. I'm gonna take you back. There's a book in the Bible called the Book of Ruth. And yes, Ruth and Boaz, everybody that knows the story, yes, they were both black. But it had nothing to do with them being a black. It comes to do you serve the same God? Ruth wasn't even an Israelite. It was her mother-in-law, Naomi, who had sons that died, her husband died. They the ones, amen, that were Israelites. So what happened was when her daughter-in-laws lost their husbands and she lost her sons, she was traveling back to her home. Ruth said, listen, I'm following you. Whoever your God is going to be my God. That right there lets you know, Ruth, first of all, was a black woman. But she didn't serve the God of Israel. She didn't serve him. She served her own false gods. And by doing that, when she came through, they came to Boaz's field. And she was gleaming out in the field. And Boaz, one of the children of Israel, saw her. And he wanted her to be his. You know what happened? They ended up having a baby. And as we know, this came through the generations of Jesus. So that just goes to show you, it had nothing to do with their skin color, or none of the people. Moses married an Ethiopian woman. Aaron and Miriam, they were upset with Moses. And you gotta ask yourself, why would they be upset that Moses, an Israelite, a Jew, why would they be upset he married an Ethiopian woman? She's black. At least that's how y'all look at it. It was not the fact that she was black. We know people from Ethiopia is black. It was the fact they were upset with him because they served two different gods. So I say all that to say this: even in this day and time, even the book of Corinthians says, "Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." Stop with all this race stuff: blacks, whites, blacks. Marry your own race. Listen, as long as you serve the same God, that's all that cares, or that's all that matters in God's eyes. Say, God could care less about your skin color. So stop all that racist stuff about marrying your own race. Marry somebody else that serves the same God as you.
Well, that's a good point. I don't tell people who to marry.
Yep. Listen, if they love them regardless of their skin color, it doesn't matter. They the ones that love them, not you. You ain't the one that's got to love them.
I ain't marrying no white girl.
No, you said earlier that you really be called Uncle Tom then, wouldn't you?
I don't care. I ain't marrying no white girl. That's out. No, it's just, the thing is, people of your culture seem to understand your pain. And here's the thing. I've dated white girls before. They just don't get it. They don't understand. They want to understand. They like, well, I don't need to understand. They don't get it. They don't understand what you go through or what it's like to go through what you go through in life as far as being black. Because you can't turn it off. See, for them, they don't know that world because they've been shielded from it their entire life. They grew up in a society where they probably don't, only black people they probably see is on the news. So they have a negative narrative about black people and don't even know it. And some date blacks just to be rebellious against their parents. I've seen it all. So I'm very leery about, like, okay, look, I'm not getting involved in this situation because of those facts. But I date black women because they know they relate. It's an unspoken relationship bond connection that you have with them. So I relate to them. I've dated Hispanic women too. They feel the same things, but they kind of have their own thing too, where they just don't understand what it's like. They want to understand, but they just don't. So I mostly end up dating black women because they relate to the situation, the struggle, and everything else, and they understand about we can work together to to get some and build for the family. Some white people are very cool. They understand. Some of them actually get it. Like my uncles, he married, like 2 of my uncles married white women. They had a black wife, they had a white wife. Like I said, it wasn't because they was white, it's because they played it right. They knew.
Well, Kevin, you got to look at this. You're dealing with dealing with white people here in America. Trust me, I've been traveling around the world. There's white people around the world, not necessarily American white, but whether they're Czechoslovakian, whether they're from Holland, whether they're from Berlin, there's a lot of white people, females around the world that's been through harder struggle than you. And so I understand what you're saying. Yeah, there's white people in America that are more privileged than blacks and other races here in America. So from an American standpoint, but I promise you try around the world, you're going to run into white people that you ain't going to be able to understand the struggle that's been through way more than you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them that's poor and went through more hardship. Some that are Czech, and some of them are very, 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 hateful towards the blacks for some reason. I have no idea, but there's more in the Eastern European areas. There's been poor people, there's poor people here, poor white people here. Not all white people got it made. And that's what some black people don't understand, because the most people they've seen that was white in their life have been in an authority position, like a school teacher or a cop. So in the neighborhood, they looked at them like that because mostly they hang out in the hood, things that they relatable to. They don't like going out to places where it's like a lot of white people and it's just a few blacks. They don't like that. They feel uncomfortable. So
Kevin, I never understood. I saw on YouTube the other day. I saw an interview. I forgot who it was with. It was with Benzino. What's Benzino? Is he Mexican, Puerto Rican, or something? He's not fully black.
He's black and Jewish.
Black and Jewish. I remember I was looking at this interview, and I remember him still talking about Eminem and how he came in involved, invaded the white culture, this and that. And I'm like, look at him, white people, his whole thing, he white, he don't relate to our struggle, but you look at 8 Mile and listen to Proof and all the people that grew up around him. Eminem was a white trailer trash white guy. He grew up the same hood ethics, same as everybody else. So I was looking out there and I was like, why did Benzino attack this guy? why was he so obsessed about Eminem not being a rapper and taking over the culture? I'm like, he didn't take over no culture. He happened to be a man that had white skin color, but still grew up in poverty and in trailer park trash, and was poor and was around nothing but blacks and Mexicans too. So I was like, how can you fault this man saying he's taking over the culture? He's just a man rapping about his struggles from the hood. Whether you black, white, Mexican, he had the same struggle.
Well, this is why he did it. I
can't understand why Benzino was so upset with him.
This is why he did it. He wasn't going directly at Eminem. He was going after the support system that handles Eminem. The support system that was around Eminem, they were the ones that were killing hip-hop. They're the ones that was strangling it, then catering only to Eminem. And only through Eminem were you going to have success. All of a sudden, all the black businesses started to disintegrate. All the black rap companies, everybody had... And the reason why they wanted to destroy that, because rap is a John Doe business. It started from the ground up. Nobody white created rap, and they had it out, and they said, okay, you could be a part of it. No, we created it. It started from scratch, and we did it. And as a John Doe business, it became $1 billion business. And by that, it means blacks can be successful and have jobs, which they did. Rappers had their own imprint labels. They got smart, had labels, had their own management companies, and they were hiring other people from family members who went to school and college. So you had black guys making $50,000, $60,000 a year at a legit job. People coming out of jail, homeboys from their hood, getting jobs as security, and now they don't have to do crime. It represented black success, and it was becoming a problem. They couldn't control it. White people have a fear of things they can't control, especially those that are in power. So Eminem was a tool. They used him like they tried to use Vanilla Ice, but we didn't accept Vanilla Ice because he couldn't rap. Eminem can actually rap, so they used him as the catalyst to come in and do all the things he did. So him being a pop sensation, they put him on MTV. They kept him on MTV. He was there a whole week. They were making TRL, basically Eminem special, to cross him over from blacks to whites. That's what 50 Cent's job was to do, to make him seem more gangster. That's when he changed his image up. He started lifting weights like 50 Cent and trying to be hardcore so they can appeal to the hardcore blacks, that audience that he didn't have. And he already had the little teeny bopper white kids. They wanted that demographic. So now all of a sudden everything goes through Eminem. Anybody had a problem with Eminem, it got removed. Murder Inc., like Ja Rule, they got investigated by the feds. The feds come in there, investigate, tear up the whole company. They haven't done anything wrong. Death Row, they destroyed them. Dr. Dre had problems with them, destroyed them. That's why Dre is so rich today, is because he had Eminem. If Dre didn't have Eminem, Jimmy Iovine would have nothing really to do with Dr. Dre on this level, with beats and all that stuff. That stuff would have been gone if it wasn't for Eminem.
And Karceno, let me ask you this. And a lot of these people are so hard on white people, right? But every time I look on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, I look at all these rappers at these concerts. My God, I swear, I don't go to none of these concerts. Oh my God, when I look at the video, 90% of the people are white. And I don't hear the rappers holding protests. I'm not going to come right here and rap because 90% of y'all are white. Why ain't the blacks? I don't hear one rapper claim, why ain't the blacks coming out here to support their own blacks? Why is 90% of y'all white? You'll take white people's money.
That's because white people own it now. That's what the whole Eminem process was. Before, it used to be black people in there going to see him. But now, white people have taken over.
Are you telling me black people aren't allowed to go buy tickets and watch their favorite singers and rappers?
These are not their favorite singers and rappers. People who buy tickets and money, their blacks are going to be in the back. They're not going to pay all that money to sit up there. One, they don't have it. Two, this is most of the people that's our age and all this, we're the ones that really went out and bought music. These young kids, they don't buy music. They one person will buy it or stream it, and then they'll share it with somebody else. And all that stuff, they go into the sharing business, the internet, where they're not really attracted to an album. They like songs, a whole bunch of collective singles. So they don't understand the feel of an album. But people who actually go to concerts were actually us. Like, we were the ones that went to concerts and sat in a row and went to hip-hop venues. These are done at stadiums now. Hip hop venues are done like normally inside the hood at a theater or something, play theater, and you have the neighborhood that can go in there and check out hip hop. Hip hop was never at this level that it is now, where it's on the big main scale. But what it did was it infected the suburban households. Politicians' kids are listening to hip hop and rap. So it became a phenomenon they needed to get control of. Now they control everything hip hop. They dictate who's going to be rapping. That's why you got this stuff with all this. They give these guys contracts and put them out there to make it look ridiculous.
All right, so Kev, let me ask you about Meek Mill then. You got Meek Mill. I do it for the hood. I do it for the hood. I do it for my people. This is for my street gangs. This is for my street people. And every time I look online at the concerts, nothing but white people out there. So I don't really see him doing too much for his people in his hood.
Well, the thing is that if they do something for the hood, it's like, I'm going to give them some money. But the white people are the one that's going to spend the majority of the money. That's just the gist of it. That's how you sell 10 million records. You want to cross over to appeal to like everybody's bumping it. Because theoretically, they want to listen to what we listen to. If the blacks don't like it, the whites going to drop it. They're going to be like, well, the blacks ain't listening to it no more. I want to be cool. So, white kids have access to money. A lot of them do, suburbanized kids. And then they get tickets. They go spend $300, $400. Most parents in the black community ain't finna spend $350 for those concerts.
So, let's talk this. The other day, you told me that Nicki Minaj got on a big rant about Kim Kardashian being white and her showing off her body, and she's mad because when I show off my body, I'm black. You give me hell, but you don't see nothing like Kim Kardashian. But on the flip side, I'm like, here you are attacking white people. Which, listen, you might even be justified in that. You probably are right. But I don't sit there and say that when all your millions of dollars come from these rich white kids out in your audience, your fan base is white, but yet still you're going to take money from the white people, and then you're going to attack the white people. That just don't make sense to me.
Well, whoever buy the record, buy the record. Whoever go to the concert, go to the concert. Whoever your fans or your music and your work, that's not up for debate. It ain't saying, look, I'm doing this for the brothers only. You could say that on the record. Ice Cube had a song called Cave B, and he talked about white people like a dog, and they went out and bought that CD and listened to that song.
And why is Nicki Minaj so hell bent on wanting to show the naked body, teaching other young black women, come on, we can show our naked bodies just like the white people show their naked bodies. Just like the black women take pride in showing naked bodies and twerking and throwing your butt in pieces and all that. What happened to the morals and ethics of young black women?
Well, she was talking about how Lauryn Hill is her idol. I'm like, if Lauryn Hill is your idol and you bowing down to Lauryn Hill, you see Lauryn Hill got about 16 layers of clothes covering her entire body.
Oh, what do you mean bowing down? You mean she actually got on her knees to bow down to her?
Yes, she got on her knees and bowed down to her.
Alright, Karceno, let me interject for a second. Now, I'm going to talk to the viewers. And I'm going to throw another biblical scripture out there for y'all. You go read the New Testament, I believe the book of Acts. The apostle and the Lord and heal the sick and cast out and
you breaking up. Are you moving somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So the apostle Paul, in the book of Acts, he was going around laying hands, healing the sick, casting out demons, doing work for the Lord as the Lord allowed him to. And some of the people, they went and bowed down, got on their hands and knees and bowed down to reverence the apostle Paul. Paul said, don't bow down to me. You stand up. I'm a man just like you. The only one you bow down to is God. This applies to the Catholic priests. All these Catholic priests and popes that allow people to bow down to them, doing nothing but making mockery of God. Only one person you bow down to, and that's God. So just for her, the mere fact of bowing down, getting on her hands and talking about you my idol, that's a disgrace to God. But she'll be accepting an award next week. I want to thank God for allowing me to twerk and for allowing me to show these young girls to be half naked. And this man, get out of here with all that crap.
Yep. I mean, that's what they do. They want to get Instagram hits and all this stuff. It's trash. It's complete trash. And the thing is that she wasn't really doing this when she first came out. When she took her pictures when she first came out, she wouldn't even do butt shots. She wouldn't even turn around and like let people take pictures of her butt. She would sit there and she came in with her rhymes. She wanted to be taken seriously. Now, every 10 seconds she stick her butt out. Her butt out you see her butt before you see her face.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. And I'm like, the thing is that it's fake. It's like, look, anybody can go and get fake boobs and be like, look, mines are perfect. It's like they're fake. You bought them. Like, if you went to the store and bought something, how you gonna take credit for it? You didn't make it. You went and bought it. You went and paid for it. So it's like,
so for all y'all Karceno listeners, I'm gonna end it with this because I have to get on here to work. But for all the Karceno's listeners, I'm gonna go back to it. Black people. I love black people. You're my people. I'm black. But listen, if you want to be helped, I'm out there to help you. If you want to bring up your standards and morals, I'm here to help. But let it be known, don't waste my time, because the minute I find you wasting your time and you're being serious, it's a facade and you're just trying to put on, don't ask for my help. I'm here to help if you want to. If not, I'm moving on. But there's far other people out here that need help, that want help. So I'm going to continue to work with black people. But my God, if I can help them out, I will. But if you don't want to help, you stay over there and I stay on my side.
All right. We'll end it like that.